Hi, everybody. We're
Hey.
here with our second to the last jury member for the I Love Money 13 Extra interview. We're with the beautiful and talented Miss Maddie.
Thank you very much. It's good to finally talk to you and get to see your face. The whole time I've been talking to your bubbles.
Behind the scenes, girl. We be behind the scenes.
Yes.
So, Maddie, sad to see you here.
I know. Same.
But let's just start with, how does it feel being out of the I Love Money Murder Manor?
Um, it feels it's pretty nice. I had a very chill, fun day yesterday. I got to see the Nutcracker with my friend. I haven't really been worried too much about the game. I've kind of, it's interesting, like, because I spent the past like 2 weeks kind of like mentally starting to prepare like what I would say if I made it to finals night, and then like I had just yesterday to be like, all right, what am I going to say in my exit interview? You got to prepare for that now. It's a bit different.
It is different. It is different. But so we're gonna talk about some stuff. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
So let's start with what happened. How did you end up here talking to me?
Yeah. So, well, I got outplayed. Fair and square, I got outplayed. Ryan did his thing, and I told you guys in my interview for this show that my strategy coming in was to remain underestimated as long as I could and not let the other players know how much of a threat I was until it was too late. And I misplayed that quite a bit. I had way too much fun with the creative challenges, but like, how could I not? It was so much fun, and that's like my favorite thing to do. So I don't know. And then like right after I won my first Paymaster with the creative challenge, I got to do a slide puzzle, and I love slide puzzles. So I went a little too like balls to the wall with everything, and yeah, I was in power at the wrong times. If I had been able to, lay low longer and then whip out the Paymaster wins when the time was right, that would have been great for me. But it's not how it happened. So it's okay.
So do you think that was your downfall, was winning all of those creative challenges? Do you think that put a target on you?
A little bit. That was part of my downfall. And then the other part was that with every single exit interview, except for maybe like Morgan and Edgar, my target just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Like every single exit interview would wrap up, and I would get like 3 or 4 notifications from Skype from different people being like, "Did you see it?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And they'd be like, "You really hurt him." I'd be like, mm-hmm. So yeah, all of those exit interviews were not helpful at all for my game, especially Harris's. I was like, come on, Harris, like I thought you weren't gonna expose me yet, but whatever, it's fine. That was really the nail on my coffin when everyone realized how close Harris and I had been working that entire time, and they were like, oh, like she probably has more people in the jury than we think. So that really
So were you surprised on how well you and Harris hid your connection?
Yes, I was very surprised. I straight up like chose him for circle night, and like no one batted an eye. There were more things. There were like always little hints that like people could have picked up on, but they didn't. With the people that I was aligned with, like Jenna and I both brought our Britney Spears books for the night that we had to do the ball challenge. And we were both like, but we weren't like, no way. We just kind of smiled at each other. Harris was always asking me, like, he always said he would match his bandana to whatever my nail colors were. And he was like, can you paint your nails red? Because I want to wear my red bandana. I was like, okay.
Wait, what? I did not catch that.
Yeah.
So
there were little Easter eggs everywhere, but no one really picked up on them.
Do you think it's because there were so many other big personalities that it was easy for you two to like kind of hide in between?
Yeah, I think so. And also, like, I'm using a computer that's almost 10 years old, and like this was like really frustrating for me, but also in a way helpful. I spent a lot of this game getting talked over, um, because like my audio is not that great. So like every now and then I would be like, I think, and then someone would just start talking over me, and I'd be like, take it away. You know what? Go for it.
Oh, like right now, you froze for like half a second.
Oh my gosh, I was hoping that wouldn't happen. That's so frustrating.
It's okay. We still heard everything, so it's fine.
Okay.
So when Harris went into the box,
Oh, yeah.
why did you say his name?
Well, I kind of was I think it was Jenna that put it out first, like, oh, Harris, you're going to be okay. And I like genuinely believed that he would be too. It didn't really hit me until it was too late, like how unpredictable Ryan would be when he was paymaster. 'Cause I don't know, I guess I just forgot about the whole Morgan elimination for a second. And we all knew that Terrell was the target that night, and Ryan agreed that he was playing an excellent game and probably was going to win if he made it to the top. So I didn't realize how much of a threat he looked at Harris as at the time. So I really thought he was going to be fine, and I knew there was no point in saying Millie's name because it was just going to be me and Harris raising our hands, and we needed 3 votes, and Jenna wasn't going to do it. So I was like, if I throw out Millie's name, that's just going to make her upset with me. And, what's the point? Because she's not going in.
Now looking back on it and seeing Harris's exit interview and how that hurt him, do you regret saying his name and not just throwing out a name, even though it wasn't going to count?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I really don't think there was anything I could have done at that point because.
Girl, what I'm trying to say is if that's your man, don't say his name.
Well, I didn't. I just kind of nodded my head when Dylan was like, are you guys okay with this? And I was like, I guess.
Wow.
I really did think he was going to be okay, which was my mistake. I should have known.
You never know what the Aussie is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever know.
Aussie. He's a clever little guy.
Yes. Yeah. So in that very last challenge where you guys were holding the bags.
Yes, it was so hard.
What were you thinking every time someone said your name to get a can?
I was kind of like, okay, cool, I can put my arms down, and okay, cool, now I have an excuse to say their name. I was just kind of using that. I was kind of glad I was like further down on the list because I was like, I'll just wait till someone says my name and then I'll say their name back, which is exactly what I did.
Do you regret being DQ'd when you were like, could you have held on longer?
No, I couldn't have. I have no upper arm strength. I knew going into the last live, I guess this was 2 nights ago, I knew like Ryan's probably going to send me home because he's a smart kid. And Terrell's going to try to send me home because he's a smart player as well. And if I don't win these challenges, it's probably over. And then I found out it was the arm strength endurance. And I was like, oh, shoot, like it's going down.
Was that when you realized like, oh, crap, my game's over?
Yep. Right when they played or when they told us what it was going to be, that we would be holding our arms out like this, I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, I played a good game. Maddie. Let's wrap it up.
You played an amazing, amazing game.
Thanks, Keisha.
You really did.
Thank you.
I wish everyone could see what we saw behind the scenes, but you'll be able to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
When you were in the box and it was you, Terrell, and Millie.
Scary. Very scary.
So I have a 2-parter to that. Do you kind of wish that maybe Jenna was in the box with you so that you had like some kind of backup? in that discussion?
Yeah, I do. I should have said Jenna's name instead of Millie's, because I really had the decision at that moment who was coming into the box with me. And I had told Jenna, I'm not going to say your name. We had that agreement. So I stuck with it. But if I had gotten her in the box with me, I probably would have had some more support. And I still was able to swing it. But really, the only way I was able to survive that one more round was because Terrell is such an amazing talker and kind of really got me in there. So I went in for my one-on-one with Ryan. I was like, "You see how convincing he is?" And he went, "Oh." Yeah.
So that leads into my second question. So when you were in the box and it was you and Terrell,
Mm-hmm.
how were you feeling in that moment with the back and forth with the two of you?
I was so frustrated because one, I mean, we talked about this, my audio is so bad, so it's so easy to talk over me. So I felt like I really had to stand my ground in order to be heard. And Terrell kept saying I don't want to hear it from you. I don't want to hear it from you. And I was trying to be well, maybe Ryan does. This isn't for you. So yeah, it was very frustrating, especially after feeling like I had been talked over the whole game. This was the moment where it really mattered. And I had to be really strong and stand my ground, even though I love Terrell so much. And that was really difficult to duke it out with him in there, especially knowing that was on the live stream and that his army was probably watching and probably wanting me dead at the time. It was a very scary experience. But yeah, it was frustrating. I think the thing that frustrated me the most was he said that in the live before, the night before, that I had said something I really hope he goes, or something under my breath. And I was like, come on, I'm smarter than that. I wouldn't say that, especially on the live when I know everyone can watch. I didn't say that. Right. Yeah. And that was another case of my audio cut out. And I had said something oh, I don't know, or something like that, but you couldn't really hear what I was saying. So, but yeah, that was frustrating because I was like, I'm not that dumb.
So at that moment when you spoke to Ryan, when you got voted out,
Yes.
is there anything you think you could have said to him to maybe persuade him to keep you?
Oh man, I mean, looking back at it, maybe not really. I think the one thing that I could have said, which is something that I was wanting to get into at some point tonight, was that this is kind of and okay, Jenna and Millie, I'm sorry for this comparison, but hear me out. I'll get there. This was kind of the equivalent of if Jag had taken Bowie Jane instead of Matt in the Big Brother 25 finale. And it was kind of which wasn't really, I don't really think that Ryan robbed my game. I think he kind of robbed the jury of getting to be a jury. Because I think if it had been me and Ryan in the finals, it would have been close. I think we would have had a really good back and forth, arguments as to why we both should win. I still think he could have beaten me because he certainly outplayed me in the final stretch of the game. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like if Jag had taken Bowie Jane over Matt. But if that were the timeline and that had happened, I feel like the most satisfactory ending to that would have been if Bowie Jane was able to then turn around and give an amazing speech as to how she had been playing all of us the whole time, or all of them the whole time, how she had been on purpose trying to remain underestimated and she wasn't the threat so that she could make it that far. So I really think both Jenna and Millie, if they're able to plead their case in a good enough way, we have a reason to want to vote for them. They just have to give us a solid argument. But yeah, maybe if I had brought that up with Ryan at the time, maybe he would have listened. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure there was much I could have done. I was trying to pull out every card I had left. There was not much left to say.
When you came into the game, did you have a strategy in mind, and were you able to fulfill that strategy, or did you have to change it as you went along?
I had like people in mind that I knew I wanted to work with, and people in mind that I knew I needed to like kind of keep an eye on. And my strategy of like remaining kind of under the radar did not work out at all. So I immediately had to change that, because night 2 we show up and he goes, "Guess who got no votes? Maddie." And so everyone's like, "Why not?" So
Dylan's
immediately I
good
was
at
like, "Okay."
Dylan's good at pointing those things.
Yes. He's very good. Great host. Thank you, Dylan. Um, but yeah, after night 2, I was like, shoot, like now I'm a threat, obviously. So I had to change it up. I had to like kind of play it by ear and go with what I could. So really moving forward after that, I knew I kind of had to form some really strong relationships with the people I started the game with in the West Wing, and then join an alliance with the East Wing. And in that way, I would kind of have a lot of my bases covered. So like I was really tight with Harris, I was really tight with Jenna, and then I joined this alliance with Ryan, Connor, Latea, and me, which were all East Wing people. And no one knows this, but I brought Harris into that too. We were 5. And we were called the Incredibles, which is so funny because no one knew our alliance name the whole time. So every time they tried to call us out, they had to list all of our names. But yeah.
So speaking of the Incredibles, so everybody thought that it was just the 4 of you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys keep them from realizing how close Harris was to that group?
Well, that was partly Harris's work. He's a very strong player and he's very good at playing. He followed through with his strategy of trying to play all sides of the house. He did it really well. And I don't know, he was our Violet. He was just invisible to everyone that was trying to come at us. They couldn't get him because they couldn't see him. But yeah, that was mainly Harris's work. And then I did a lot of I don't know. I played a lot of this game knowing that I wasn't the target because I had certain connections on the other side that would fill me in. So I played a lot of this game actually just trying to protect the people that I was aligned with. A lot of my moves were to try to protect Latea, and then a lot of my lies were to try to protect Harris. Because Harris, throughout this entire game, was my gorgeous little mole. And I always called him that in my DRs.
You sure did.
He was my little mole, and he was playing all sides of the house. So he kind of knew what was going on with pretty much everyone, except for one little sector, which I'll get to in a second. So really, anytime I had an inkling or like some type of paranoia about someone, I could just ask Harris, like, hey, I don't know, Jordan seems kind of like sketched to me. And he'd be like, oh, yes, he said he wants you out. And I'd go, okay, yeah, for sure, for sure. Wait, what was I went on a tangent and I forgot what I was answering the question about. But yeah, I had a lot of my bases covered with Harris. He was able to, he really let me know like everything that I needed to know that was going on. And in that way, I didn't really have to be a snake. It was like, he was kind of my snake a little bit. So I got to stay loyal to my alliance and always kind of be aware, like where I needed to watch, what I needed to watch out for and what people might possibly be coming after me. And if not me, like Latea and Connor, which, you know, I couldn't really do much about when they were the big targets.
So that double is when Latea and Connor both left.
Yeah. Oh, that was so hard.
How were you feeling when Latea went and then Connor next?
I was crushed. Latea, like, I just loved her from the start. Like, from her Meet Me video, I was like, I really want to work with this girl. Like, I felt connected to her. She, like, felt like a sister to me this whole game, like my sister in Christ. We got to talk about our faith with each other. And I just think we're really similar. So, you know, I loved getting to work alongside her. And I really didn't want to see her go. I spent so much of the game trying to protect her. Like that Rachel elimination was for her. But yeah, and Latea was one of the last few girls left that I really trusted in the game. So that really hurt to see her go, because I was like, shoot, well, I've got Jenna and everyone else. I guess I got to play with the boys now. So, I was trying to make some connections with like Edgar at the last minute. Right when I felt like I was having a breakthrough with Edgar, he got cut. I don't know. It was a lot of me like finally getting close with somebody and then having them ripped away from me and being like, okay, reassess you. And then they'd get cut and I'd be like, okay, Girls Alliance, like, where do we go?
So speaking of working with the boys, what did you think about Harris's Guys Alliance?
Gross. I hated that. That was devastating. When I first learned that every season of I Love Money, there's been a girl that's won, I thought that was like the coolest thing I've ever heard. Because especially in a game like this, like it is so easy for the men to like take on these leadership positions and be overpowering and talk over people. And you really have to like, as a girl, like access your masculine energy in order to stay alive in this game. So, I mean, like, look at Survivor. There's almost there's like double the amount of boy winners than there are girl winners. It's just so much easier for people with more masculine energy to thrive in these types of settings. So, I go in knowing like, oh, there's always been a girl winner. That's so cool. And of course, like, this is the one season where they're like, boys, like, let's stick together. And I was like, ew, no, don't do that, please. Like, that would be so easy for them. So yeah, I was not a fan of Good Company or the Smooth Criminals. Thank you very much.
But even though that Boys Alliance was there, you were technically a part of that as an extension.
In a way, yeah.
I didn't really participate, but you knew everything that was going on.
Yes. I knew everything that was going on with them. However, I was not in the alliance or the group chat or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so I always kind of knew like who their target was going to be. And Harris did a good job of like deflecting, I think, whenever my name came up with them, and kind of trying to shift it over to somebody else. So shout out Harris. Thank you for that. But what was I going to say? Oh, I always do this. Sorry, I'm real spacey.
I am too, girl. It's fine.
I always get lost. Yeah, I was kind of an extension of that Boys Alliance, but the boys didn't really know that, except for Harris. Right. Especially Justin, which Justin I always had such mixed feelings about, because he was like a close friend of mine in this game. And he was the first person that reached out to me, the first person that I had a one-on-one chat with, the first person I had a one-on-one call with. And I really think of him as my friend. And he always was saying he wants to work with me. He wants to work with me. But all along, he didn't realize that I had Harris feeding me all of this information about what was going on Justin's side of the house. And I was well aware of Justin's alliances the entire time. And Justin and I would hop on a call and he'd say, like, I swear, like, I'm in nothing. Like, I'm desperate here. I have no alliance, no allegiance to anyone. I'm going to show up to the next live wearing a free agent shirt. And I'm going, yeah, you should. You should wear a free agent shirt. That's a great idea. So, if Justin had been honest with me, I definitely would have been more willing to work with him. But he lied several times. So I knew, I couldn't really trust what he was telling me. So that makes it difficult to work with somebody.
I was going to ask that question, but you segued so perfectly into that. So thank you for explaining the Justin beef.
Yes.
Yeah, for their intuition. If you could do it all over, Would you do anything different?
Yes. Okay. So there are a few things that I would do differently, and I love like getting to play these games. This is like one thing that like not a lot of people in the cast know about me, but my friends and I like every year for Beau's birthday like get together and play our own version of Big Brother or Survivor. Last March we played Survivor for 3 days in the woods, like with no shelter, no food, and so every time we play, like I've always, first of all, I usually lose. And I'm usually able to like take with me some type of lesson of like how to do better next time. And really the main lesson that I took from this experience, especially if I'm ever going to want to like audition for like Real Big Brother or Real Survivor, is I need more physical strength. Like I just need to get in shape. Like I think that was like, it could have been my saving grace if like I had been stronger. So like from going forward, I need to get some muscle in me, and then I think I would be more successful.
So in the game, what was your biggest regret?
Ooh, biggest regret. What was my biggest oopsie?
Or do you have any regrets? Or are you happy with the way you played?
Honestly, I'm kind of happy with the way I played. Like I always, when I sent Rachel home, I felt really bad about it because she was so amazing, and like I really enjoyed her person. Like I really wanted to be her friend, and I knew like I was robbing her in that moment because I knew she could have gone really far. But I also was aware, like I do think there's like an alternate timeline where I don't cut Rachel and then she wins the whole thing. So I don't know. I don't really know if I regret that much because she also straight up told me she was going to get Latea if she could. So I was trying to protect her. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I know what I could have done. So the night that Latea and Connor went home, I felt a little pressured to fling Justin that night because we had talked about getting him in the box the episode before. And right before the episode, I messaged the group and was like, hey, you guys, like I just talked to Justin. He really wants to work with us. Like he really wants to be a part of this alliance. Like maybe tonight we shouldn't vote for him. And we never really came to much of an agreement of whether or not we would put him in the box. Me and Harris definitely never agreed to it. And so when it came down to the time to vote Justin, neither of us raised our hands. And that created a lot of distrust with Latea and Connor. They were both looking at me like, why wouldn't you raise your hand for Justin? And I was like, well, I never really agreed to. But after that, I was like, okay, I have to earn their loyalty back or like their trust back. So like, yes, like I'll lead the charge against Justin next time. That's fine. And they were like, yes, that is how you can earn our trust back. And I was like, okay, great. So we go into the next episode. And I'm fully prepared to like throw Justin under the bus because I have a lot of like, bullet points that I could use against him. But Edgar's paymaster and Latea's dead last loser. So obviously Edgar was not going to send Justin home over Latea. Edgar and Justin were in an alliance. So, I did what they wanted me to do, but it wasn't actually the best move to keep them safe. It was more just like what they wanted. But I don't know. There might have been a chance to save the both of them if we had gone for someone else and not Justin.
Okay. I'm going to swing back around to the Rachel check voiding. Why did you let Jenna influence your decision to get rid of Rachel?
One, I really love Jenna. And two, I really was torn between Edgar and Rachel. I knew that Edgar had mentioned like wanting me out a long time ago. And I was recently told that by Harris that Rachel didn't want to work with me. And I said this in my like first video that I ever sent you guys after watching the Meet Me's and being like, okay, here's this person I want to work with. And I said like, Rachel is very intelligent. She's a super smart girl. I can already tell she's going to be really good at this. And I would like to be on the same side of her, or the same side as her, because like I don't want her to be someone that I'm up against in this house because she's really strong. So the second I knew that she didn't want to work with me, I was like, well, then I guess you gotta go because you're gonna take me out.
It's you or me.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, Jenna did have some sway in that a little bit. But really what actually sent Rachel home was when we were in our one-on-one and she was like, I promise, like, I'm not going to come after you if you keep me. And I was like, okay, while we're making deals, can you promise you won't go after Latea too? And she said, no, I can't. And if she had lied and said, no, I won't go after Latea, I would have kept her.
Really?
I would have kept her for sure.
And what if she would have cut Latea the next round?
I would have been upset for sure. But like, you know, it's a game. It's not that personal.
If you could do it all over again, would you?
Yeah. But I'd be stronger next time.
Oh, so you got
ripped. Yeah.
You'll start
yeah, I would totally play again if I could.
Who do you want out next out of the three?
I am hoping that it's a Jenna and Ryan final two. I'm hoping Millie goes. But we'll see how the challenge goes. I really think anything could happen.
Okay. Who are you rooting for? And so 2-part question. Who are you rooting for, but who do you think's gonna win?
I think Ryan's gonna win. I think that's probably how most of the jury is viewing it right now. I think Jenna has been severely underestimated this entire time, and she's still being underestimated with how well she's actually been playing this game. Jenna has been working her butt off this entire time, and it's all been undercover, like very sly. But yeah, she's been working hard. She's been making plans. So I'm rooting for Jenna. But I think Ryan has the W. LOL. The W right now, unless Jenna can pull through, win the next comp, and give us a really good argument as to why we should vote for her. Because I feel like there are more people that want to vote for Jenna. They just don't have reason to yet. We just need to hear her out first. But I believe in you, Jenna. You can do it. I know you've played a great game.
So when it comes to your vote, are you voting off of gameplay or off of relationships?
Well, I feel really close with both Jenna and Ryan. So if it were the two of them, it would have to be off gameplay because I love the both of them. So I really couldn't decide like who I like more, Jenna or Ryan, in a personal way. But and yeah, I'm not sure. Millie, I haven't been working as close with in this game, so I really don't know what moves she's made. But if she can like pull out an amazing speech at the end, I'll hear her out. I'm pretty open-minded at this point as to who I'm going to vote for.
Did you have a final two? Is there anybody that you wanted to be sitting in the end with?
Yeah, so, well, it wasn't requited, but I really wanted me and Latea to go to the end together. I thought that would have been iconic. And then there were a few final two offers made to me, but they were super early on. So I was always a little wary of that because in that beginning stage where we're all getting to know each other, to me, it kind of felt like we were like doing some speed dating or like online dating each other, like trying to get to know each other and trying to figure out like, who's my one person going to be? Like, who's my best match that I can like really trust and like ride all the way to the end with. And I think it was like week 1 and both Richie and Harris offered me final twos. And I was like, great. And I would just kind of smile and wave. Like I never was like, yes, you're my final two as well. Like really, I didn't say that to Harris until Latea got out. But I figured that they were both making other final twos as well, because it was a little too early to be committing to that, I thought.
Okay. So let's touch on your situation with Sador.
Okay. Dare I?
This is your chance to talk to air it out. So what was the beef? What was the conflict?
Okay. So the deal with Sador is oh my god, she's gonna eat me alive. So sorry, Sador. The deal with Sador is the way I kind of view this game, it's kind of like Super Smash Bros. Like, I don't think of it as that personal. I think it's kind of like we're with a big group of like good people, good company. We all go online, we choose our little character who we're gonna play as, and then we go into the arena and try to push each other off the ledge until there's one person left. And usually the way that plays out is like if you're a little too close to the ledge, like Zelda and Kirby will run over and try to push you off because you're too close, and you're gonna be like, no, like fuck you, spare me, it's sabotage, like on your way down. And then you're gonna die, and then you're gonna laugh and wait for the game to be over so that you can play again. So with Sador, it was kind of like we're with this group of good people. We're playing Super Smash Bros. And someone playing as Princess Peach walks their little Princess Peach over to the ledge, sits on it, sets their controller down, and says, "You won't." So obviously you will, because that's the game. So we run over, we push her off, and then you kind of look at that person and think and say like, "Oh, did you not want to play? Like, why did you do that?" And then they stand up and say, "No, not with any of you. You stink. You're ugly. You're a loser. You're a dirty ass. Your wig sucks. Your outfit sucks. And the fact that any of you even have the time to play this game makes you all a bunch of dirty ass jobless losers." Why the hell would you invite that person back to game night? Like, I was so confused when she came back and everyone was like, "Yeah, we should work with Sador. She's really sweet." I was like, what do you mean she's sweet? Like, did everyone just forget about how she like absolutely flamed us on her way out last time? That was so like mind-boggling. The fact that people were like, "Yeah, like Sador's really sweet." It's like, I don't think so, but okay.
What did you think about Sador getting back in the game when she wasn't even there?
Man, I don't know. It was just frustrating that she wasn't even there. Like that was kind of her whole game was like not being there. So I don't know, but I did say like before when I knew the battle back was happening that I either wanted Richie to come back because I really like Richie and he's very entertaining, or maybe Sador just because I thought after her last exit interview that she would be very easy to get out next. I didn't think that everyone would just forget about that, but she got to stay for another 10 days, which blew my mind. So I don't know. I was like a little relieved when Sador came back because sorry to these people. There were a few people that like, first of all, Jordan was going to come back and get me immediately. And then there was Ryan and Dr. Lou, who, in order to protect Harris and get the information out that I needed to get out, that he had given me and still keep him safe, I did kind of have to pin a few of the things that he told me on people that had already gotten out. So I was like, if Lou comes back or if Ryan comes back, me and Harris might be in trouble because everyone's going to realize it wasn't Ryan that leaked the All Boys Alliance or what was another thing? There were several things. But yeah, that was kind of where I did most of my lying when I was just trying to protect Harris.
So then does that mean Harris was your real final two?
Yeah, well, especially once Lataya left, I was like, okay, like, let's write it out. But honestly, and I've told him this, like, once it started getting down to the end, I was considering maybe cutting him at the very end because I knew how powerful he was with the jury. And we both agreed, like, he was going to beat me. So the agreement was like, and he was telling me the whole time too, like, you need to cut me. If you want to win, you need to cut me. And I was always kind of like, yeah. So I did have that in mind, but I wasn't ever planning on blindsiding him. If I was going to cut him, I would have like taken him for the one-on-one and told him about it before.
What was something you would consider a big mistake that you made in the game?
Not clocking the whole like Ryan getting Morgan out as hard as I did. Because I should have known from that point that like he really was playing for himself. Because if he was playing to protect our alliance, he would have gotten Edgar that night. So yeah, but I knew that was like probably a good move. Morgan had a lot of potential to go super far in this game, which I love Morgan. Vote for her for fan favorite. So, you know, and I didn't want to be the person to get Morgan out. Like I was never going to try to go for Morgan just because she's too amazing. I couldn't do it. But that was like really, really bold of him. Like super brave to get Morgan out because she is like so loved by everyone. So, you know, obviously that was going to make some people mad. And I should have clocked like, okay, this kid he's super smart and super brave, and he's going to do what it takes and whatever is best for his game, not his alliance's game.
And is that a respectable thing to play that way? Do you see that as a good gameplay?
I mean, yeah, I think so. He's made it to Final 3 by doing it. So, and I'm sure he has most of the jury ready to vote for him now. So, yeah, I think he's played a great game.
Okay, so we're going to go to the chat here, and we're going to answer some of the questions. We got all kinds of Team Maddies, lots of loves. Maddie deserves better than Maddie played an awesome game. Is that your mom?
Oh. The Mullins.
Oh.
Thanks, Kyra.
Yes.
That's so sweet. Thanks, Kyra. The Maddie.
Who's that one?
Marissa. That's one of my best friends. She's also my coworker. She helped me film both my rap challenge. Oh my gosh, it's Brandon! Thanks, Brandon. Oh my gosh, I'm about to go hang out with Brandon later tonight. When Maddie gets swole, it's over for everyone. Oh my gosh, you guys are funny. Thanks, another Brandon. Thank you, Brandon.
Yes,
I love the Brandons. I love them all.
He played season 12.
Okay, yes. I haven't watched back all of season 12, but I remember you, Brandon. Played a good game too. Big brain. Wow. These are good comments. I love it. Now that you've experienced the game, would you come back for an All-Stars another season? Of course I would. I had so much fun playing this game. I wasn't bored for a whole month, which I get bored really easily. So this was awesome. Like I had a great time, a great experience. Really, I mean, like I got stabbed in a few ways, but like I've played this game with my real like friends that I know in person before, and there is nothing like getting backstabbed by your best friend. So like this, you know, some people that I met online, I could take this. I had a great time. It was really, really fun.
Oh yeah, we already talked about Sador. These comments are coming in quick. Oh, not the dirty ass Maddie. Oh goodness.
Oh,
did amazing. Dirty Maddie.
I was not expecting a compliment from Cleo.
You did play such an amazing game.
Thank you. Yeah, if I had pulled it through at the very end, I think I could have taken it, but I came up short.
Who is your favorite player, Dirty Maddie?
Morgan all the way. I'm obsessed with Morgan. I want a sitcom about her life. I wish that I could. I wish that she had been around longer so that we got to have more Morgan. I think she deserves more screen time. She's so hilarious and so authentic. I adore Morgan. Hands down, she was my favorite.
Cleo said, Maddie, you're funny as hell.
Thanks, Cleo. You too. Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Do I have any more questions here? Hold on. We got Harris asking questions, but he's not allowed to. Chantel had to check him, tell him, get out of here.
Harris is asking me for help with the new Contexto game, probably.
Let's see. Out of curiosity, what's the criteria for an ass to be dirty? That's what Marissa asked.
You know, Marissa, that's a good question. I think if you don't bathe regularly, you definitely have got the potential to be a dirty ass. If you know, if you get Sador out, you're definitely a dirty ass. Really, if you're in contact with Sador, you are at risk to be a dirty ass for sure. No one is safe.
Kyra wants to know, can you do some of the rap one last time?
No, I forget what I even said. I said recipes. Back from the bottom 3 or 4 times, chasing that Hall of Fame. Rest in peace, Edgar. You would still be here if you had dropped 2 names. That was good. I was torn between whether doing that or I was gonna make some joke about how Richie had no balls. It was a toss-up. 2 really great, memorable moments in the game.
All right, Maddie. So this is your chance. Let us know anything you want to tell the audience that they don't know. Anything you want to finally get off your chest before we wrap this up.
Well, I wasn't a showman, so you're all welcome for the entertainment. And what else? Oh, so I had gorgeous Harris as my gorgeous little mole, but also I had Jenna as my fairy godmother because she always called me her Disney princess. So I was like, oh, you can be my fairy godmother. And she was a part of like the last sector of the house that I didn't quite know what was going on with, like Terrell, Millie, all them. She was close with them. So there was one night, it was late in the night, and my fairy godmother visits me and just decides to like give me all of this information, like the last missing piece that like there was one little part of the house that I didn't know exactly what was going on. And that night she let me know everything. So I really had every base covered at that point, and it was really awesome. Like I just love Jenna. She was awesome and like a great person to work with. Like if she ever plays again, and someone is watching this that is playing with Jenna, just know she's someone you want on your side for sure.
Awesome. Would you have cut Ryan if you were paymaster at final 5 or 4?
Yes. Yes, I would have.
So he got you before you got him.
Exactly. And good on him.
Got it. Well, Maddie, it was such a pleasure watching you play.
Thank you.
You did such a great job.
Thank you. It was
you were the
fun.
Last one casted, but you made a big impact on the season.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought I might have been the last one casted because I had already seen like a preview of the intro before by the time I was still doing my audition. So yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that I got to play. Thank you for all of this and all of the work that you guys put in. I know I've tried to plan like games like this with Bo before, like for like 3 days worth of games, and we had to spend like an entire month planning that. So I cannot imagine the amount of work that goes in to planning like this entire thing. You guys are amazing. Just thank you for everything, for real. You guys are so awesome. Thanks, Mom.
She says, I'm so proud of you. Well, now is your time to plug yourself. Where can everybody find you? What are you doing? Let everybody know.
Sure. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I think I'm on private, but that's okay. It's MadGalReere. It's MadGalReere. And then I don't know. I don't do a lot of social media. My TikTok is embarrassing, so I'm not plugging that. If anyone has any acting inquiries, my agent's email is Christina@realtalentstudio.com. That's REEL talentstudio.com.
Okay, Maddie. Well, thank you so much. You still play a very pivotal role because you get to vote for the winner of
Yes!
season 13.
I'm so excited.
So we will see you again for the round table. We'll see you for finale night, and then the reunion. Girl.
Oh boy. I'm gonna bring drinks and snacks for that.
Oh,
I'm sure
bring
there's
the popcorn, bring the tea. It's gonna be tea spilled everywhere.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. And I can't wait to get into the jury house. I can't even imagine what's going on in there.
Girl.
I'm a little scared, but I'm excited.
Be glad you ain't there just yet, but they're waiting for you. So
no, okay.
So we're gonna say goodnight.
All right.
We're gonna get you in there so you can have some talks.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.